burst damage that they need. Tiny will get banned in the second phase by IG. Same goes for Wraith King. Of course, Wraith King is one of the better counters to Doom. You are not going to get doomed in the team fights most of the time. Tiny, it's a flex pick for TSpirit. They played it quite a lot on the mid lane, and they also ran it on the safe lane when it's needed.
This time, TSpirit also got rid of the Monkey King, which they saw as a threat last game, and also, once again, melee offlaner, making sure that you want to have an easier lane here. Insania, could you tell me the strengths a bit of this Doom Lion as a starting combo?
I think the nice thing about it is that it's fairly flexible. You can still run the Doom pretty much in any position. He's going to accomplish what he wants to accomplish. The Lion they ran in the safe lane the last game. It's played by Kaka, I think, pretty much exclusively on their team. But they have the ability to flex it between the safe lane and the off lane. So IG's sticking a little bit more to this idea of like, we want to have a more flexible draft. We want to be able to do what we want with our heroes here. I think the Lina ban from TSpirit is something they should look out for. Chinese teams consider this hero to be very, very strong against Leshrac. And we noticed in the last game, the Lina got banned. IG instantly went for the Leshrac. So I think that might be something that's on their mind to potentially ban out.
Lina in general just feels super strong. We're staying away from this Yule Scepter, Lina spellcaster type of a build. It's just most of the time Boots of Travel into BKB, into Crystallis, which can be transitioned into either Daedalus, or we can see the Silver Edge when it's needed. A lot of the heroes that have break, that don't like to be broken in the game, are not as popular because the Silver Edge just feels like one of the best items right now.
Is there any hero that you think it should be being played that because he's broken, you wouldn't play him right now? Is there any hero that comes to mind that you think?
Yeah, Spectre. I definitely did expect much more Spectre to be picked, but Silver Edge, like you see Silver Edge being picked from the off lane, from the mid lane, even the safe laners get it.
Yeah, that's fair. What do you think the next pick should be here for IG? Or what are they trying to set up here? Or the third and fourth?
So right now, what IG has going for them, I think, is that they have slightly faster heroes, and they have like a clear-cut initiation. And now they have the control for the Legion, right? So if the Legion purges a Lion's initiation, then that means free grips for Bane. So you have a way to effectively force out the Legion purge, so that you have the ability to get the Fiend's grip off. Plus, it's a strong laner against Legion. You have the Nightmare mechanic to sleep against a duel, so it's hard to rack up duel damage as a Legion commander. For TSpirit, this means that the Bane is now a hero that they need to figure out a way to solve.
Yeah, because they definitely need something that can, like any long disruptive stun or a silence, something that can cut into backline. Spirits come to mind. Like, you still are playing into Lions, so playing any of the Spirits is going to be a bit tricky. Storm Spirit was banned out by TSpirit, but Void Spirit definitely comes to my mind, especially for once you get that Aghanim Scepter timing, jumping the backlines with into Lion and Bane could be a bit tricky for them.
That's a potential save to a degree, depending on what you're facing. If Bane is too close to the Fiend script, you also have the way to threaten the Bane to move by just throwing kisses at him. But the Snapfire also combines here nicely with the Legion Commander. Duel, very similar to the Sky with Mage combo. Probably going to be able to kill most heroes.
Yeah.
Where else is the strength of the Snapfire? Why do they go for this 5 particularly?
So I think generally speaking, when you pick a 3-position hero that doesn't really provide teamfight for your draft, you're going to have to compensate for it with some other role.
Right.
So Snapfire brings this teamfight that they are lacking in their draft right now. It's a lot of very single target damage, and when you don't have any teamfight, it feels difficult to take these like slightly harder fights when you've got to go up a high ground or something like that. So Snapfire not only is a very powerful laner with a minus armor, that has really nice synergy with the Chaos Knight, and especially going up against a hero like Doom, it's very effective because he doesn't have any armor at all, or very low armor rather.
And now we see a hero that's been picked in both carry and the offense position, the CK. I think it was Fisco that was mainly providing the carry CK, but I don't recall TSpirit using it. What is it about this game? Because it's not a very popular hero right now.
It's not, but this hero comes online so quickly. It's a super strong laner, especially when paired up with the strong position 5, which Snapfire is. And also, you don't care too much about getting doomed in the fights, I would say. You can still be able to reset. I like the Snapfire in general. With the repositioning tool, once Lion jumps on you with just Cookie, could make the difference, especially since the cast range was nerfed on Lion's stun.
You have a good minus armor strat as well going on with the CK Weaver plus the Snapfire, as you mentioned. Is the Morphling an idea to that? Someone that can get really hard armor and is more scared of the magical burst?
I absolutely think it's good. I think it can go both ways though. When you have a lot of minus armor, it racks up pretty fast. And for the early portions of the game before Morphling has like that ridiculous 50 armor point, it is you have the ability to burst them down, and they have a lot of block and stuns. So the Morphling does hit at later timing against these heroes, but I do think one of the issues that Spirit ran into in the last game was they really lacked pace. They were at the mercy of IG running at them almost constantly. But now they've flipped it around. If you look at their heroes now, you can tell that they understood from the last game that, hey, we can't play this low of a game. We can't let them make all the moves. And now I think they've fixed that problem for their draft. They have pretty active heroes that can make things happen.
Would you say on the flip side that IG now might be more on the defensive?
Yeah, I think so. I think it looks like IG. Personally, I really liked IG's draft in the last game, and I think they had the right idea in mind. I think this time around their draft is a bit slower. It might be like we lost the first game, so we want to make sure we have some sort of more late game, or we want to make sure that we can go late. But
I want to see some kind of AoE against CK Illusions, because if CK does not get jumped first with the Lion Doom, they're going to have a huge problem to deal with.
Because, in case you're a viewer that hasn't watched in a while, you think, oh, Lion, you can just monitor them, hex him. No, not CK. They're considered strong illusions, and they can't just simply be dispelled just like that. Last game, Lacoste, you told us about how TeamSpirit had good counter initiation, so even if they were defensive, they had good ways to respond. Do you feel similarly about IG's draft right now?
I don't think they have the best counter initiation. I think this game is pretty heavily like, if you can get the Doom off on Chaos Knight before he Phantasms, you're going to be very happy about that. Because IG don't really have that much, TeamSpirit doesn't really have that much damage between the Weaver and the Legion and the Snapfire in the early game.
They also have no reliable stuns. Duel is going to be good, but there are no silences whatsoever, and there's always going to be this Nightmare save that could potentially make the difference. So Morphling should have a good time.
Okay. Do we have any? Is it the Weaver Vessel carrier this game?
Yeah,
Deal with the Morphling?
no doubt about it.
It just feels like the standard build.
Yeah, I know that people really harp on the Axe because it looks so good, but ever since the range nerfs, we have seen much more play with the traditional Weaver Spirit Vessel, even Gleipnir builds we've seen on Weaver.
Right. I think if you go for the Aghanims immediately, it takes you 4,000 gold